Council of the City of Cottonwood, Arizona, be held December 20th, 2022 at 6 p.m. First, before we take roll, I want to just say if there's anybody here that's hoping that we're going to speak about Silverado project this evening, we're not. That'll be first regular meeting in January, I believe. And if there's anyone here wondering why we're dressed like this, it's because it's tradition. It's our annual ugly Christmas sweater tradition. Like most traditions, they don't make a lot of sense. Nobody knows how they got started. And there's sometimes societal harm, but we stick to it anyway because it's tradition. So anyway, thanks for joining us in the festivities, those of you who did. Mr. Horton. All right, let's go ahead and have our deputy clerk take the roll, please.
Councilmember DeWillis.
Here.
Councilmember Duvernay is absent. Councilmember Henry.
Here.
Councilmember Karat.
Present.
Councilmember Weldon.
Here.
Vice Mayor Naren.
Here.
And Mayor Linsky.
Here, thank you. All right, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next is a brief summary of current events by the mayor, city council, and/or city manager. The public body does not propose, discuss, deliberate, or take legal action on any matter brought up during this summary unless the specific matter is properly noticed for legal action. And do any council members have anything to report?
Was it last week or the week before I went to the Shop with a Cop? So I want to thank PD, and I think that was Ashley, Officer Campbell, that put that one together. And then Saturday, we went to, what was Saturday? Breakfast with Santa.
Right.
And Rec Center did a great job putting that together too.
Good, great, thank you. We meet every couple weeks with area managers and mayors, so I was able to meet some of the new mayors across the Verde Valley. So I think we're looking forward to working with them and getting them in the fold on all the great work that we do here in the Verde. So that's really all I have. Mr. Rodriguez, what do you have?
I just have a couple of items. The City of Cottonwood seeking applications for one seat in the Planning and Zoning Commission and 2 seats in the Historic Preservation Commission. All the seats are for 3-year terms. Those interested in serving the community are encouraged to apply. Board and commission applications are available at Human Resources Office located at 821 North Main Street or by calling 928-340-2713 or online at www.cottonwoodaz.gov. The Greater Cottonwood Chamber of Commerce will be hosting a chamber mixer in partnership with the City of Cottonwood and Old Town Association. The mixer is scheduled for Thursday, January the 19th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Cottonwood Community Clubhouse. To register or for more information, please visit cottonwoodchamberaz.org. And the City of Cottonwood administrative offices will be closed on Mondays, December 26th and Monday, January 2nd in observance of the holidays. Please visit cottonwoodaz.gov for full details on the closures and adjusted hours of operations for the different departments. The community is invited to celebrate the new year at our annual New Year's Eve celebration on Saturday, December 31st at the Cottonwood Recreation Center from 6 to 10 p.m. This free, family-friendly event will conclude with a balloon grape drop countdown and apple cider toast to welcome 2023 to Cottonwood. Cottonwood Parks and Recreation would like to advise the community that the monthly jail trail interpretive hike for January 2023 has been canceled. It'll resume beginning February 2023. Please visit Parks and Recreation Facebook for updates. Thank you, Mayor, Council.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, we have a couple presentations. First, and most importantly this evening, is a plaque of appreciation to former Councilmember Doug HULSE, who's here this evening. We dragged him out from, I think you were on vacation for a little bit, weren't you? He and his wife are here this evening to accept this award, which is nicely wrapped. We dressed up for the occasion too, just for you. Would you care to come up to the podium? We're going to take a photo too, so you're not getting out of that. And Carol, we're probably going to drag you into that too. But almost 30 years of service to the city of Cottonwood. We owe you so much. And your wife, too, worked for the city of Cottonwood for years, and you've given so much to this community. So just really wanted to say thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and council members. Pardon me. I've enjoyed my time on council. I've appreciated all of you folks. We have done a wonderful job, and I know that the new replacements, Steve and Lisa, are going to do a good job and continue on with the progress that we've been making. And I want to thank all of you and the city of Cottonwood and our residents for all the wonderful things that I've enjoyed and been a part of over the last many, many years.
You're very modest. I just want to point out the very room we're standing in is because of all the hard work that you put in on the Parks and Rec Commission and years of dreaming about a facility like this, which is, I think, one of the legacies that you leave behind. So thank you really for your service.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, Council, do you want to just step up front? We'll get a quick photo. Ms. Hulse, would you care to join us in the photo? Okay, and next under presentations is the redesign of the city's website. Mr. Carter?
I'm John Carter. I'm the IT director, and I was told to be very quick, so I will. So why did we redesign it? The old design was a bit outdated. Our old site, the information wasn't as easy to find as we'd like, and I'm sure the citizens and whoever was finding that information. The old site also had outdated technology, and we needed compatibility with our new mobile app, and also the cost. It was free, or included with our existing contract, I should say. So excuse me. The methodology. So we started out over a year ago with the website review committee, some folks that are inside the city, employees that helped us really bring it from nothing to what it is now, the complete fruition. Our leadership team helped us review it, all the department heads and other supervisors. And our vendor, Civic Plus, really did a great job. They've done a great job since we've been with them. I want to say 2016 we signed up with them, and they've really done just a fantastic job on a budget. So here's kind of the timeline. We started in August 2021 with our website design committee, and we really went from the ground up. We looked at everything. What does work, what doesn't work, what needs to be redesigned, what needs to be moved around so it's just can be found better. We did some internal surveys. The project kickoff was April 2022 with the vendor. We got the mock-ups in July, and actually council has helped us out in that regard of taking a look at some of those through the iterations that we had. And then our final website rollout was November 21st. So I'd love to thank the website review committee, Laura Herrera, Megan Russell, Kirsten Lennon, Jamie Shea, Tricia Lewis, Ron Sontman, and Jennifer Matthew. They were the core people that were there the whole time. And our department heads and the others that really took a look at the website for us. Our vendor, project manager, Holly Brown with Civic Plus. And of course the council, you guys put it together, you approved it, it looks really good. And I just want to do some screenshots. So this is our front page, if you're looking at the top of it. This is how it looks now, and you can see it looks vastly different from before. And as you move down, now our calendar of events are a little more appealing. They're a little more, doesn't look so much like a kid put it together, no offense. And we have a little more action. This slide doesn't show it, but all of these pictures with the Instagram and Facebook, they move and they have a little action to them, so they really are a little more dynamic, kind of draw people in. And then the bottom is very functional and clean now. Our older site had a lot of stuff at the bottom. It was kind of hard to find, kind of hard to get to what you wanted sometimes. And something I wanted to point out here is up top there, we put an accessibility icon to the far right. It looks like a guy standing with his arms out there. That allows people to like increase the font, do some translation if they need to translate the site into another language. And that's a new thing that I think has helped out quite a bit. And that's it. You guys have any questions? Of course, I would love to answer them.
That was almost too brief.
Everyone, go to cottonwoodaz.gov.
Great. Do you track visitation?
We do.
Yeah. How's that? You said this launched in November. Has it increased traffic at all to the website?
It hasn't increased markedly,
Yeah.
but I think that will happen, especially around the holidays. And then when we have events, of course, it jumps quite a bit.
Great.
We're hoping the jobs page gets more hits.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I've been there. I've checked it out. I think it looks great. Thanks for revamping it. It's awesome. Any other questions? No? Great. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you
Carter.
all.
Thank you. Okay, next is call to the public, and this portion of the agenda is set aside for the public to address the council regarding an item that is not listed on the agenda for discussion. However, the council cannot engage in discussion regarding any item that is not officially listed on the agenda for discussion and/or action. Are there any folks here this evening that would like to address the council on an item that's not on the agenda? All right, then we will move on to the approval of the minutes of the regular meetings of November 1, November 15, and December 6, 2022, and the special meeting of November 21, 2022. And I'll move to approve those minutes.
Second.
Okay, Mayor made the motion, Councilmember Wilden seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it's approved. And next is the consent agenda, 2 items this evening. Under consent, the following items are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or citizen so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda. 2 items. It's first up is 911 emergency dispatch system upgrades. Item 2 is transportation services agreement with the Verde Valley Caregivers Association. Is there a member of the public or a council member that would like to have an item pulled?
Yes, I would like to pull the first one, ask a couple of questions.
Okay, item 1. All right, let's go ahead then and make a motion for item 2. I'll go ahead and motion to approve item 2 on the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, Mayor made the motion, Councilmember Henry seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's approved. And let's pull item 1 for discussion, which is the 911 emergency dispatch system upgrades. We have our chief here. We have all kinds of folks here that can answer your questions.
It's probably going to be for purchasing. First question is, it said it expired, the quote expired December 3rd. So that's my first question. Second question is, the bid is for $203,000, and we're going to approve much more than that. I know it's up to, but I need an explanation on that one.
So on the first question, the quote did expire, but they've said that they're going to honor that through the coming months when we roll out with this. So that part is not going to be an issue. As far as the cost is concerned, what were the numbers that you were looking at again, please?
I think it said 203,000 is what we're approving. We're approving 230,000. The quote said 203.
Okay. I'm going to refer to John on that one.
Sorry, Mayor, Councilman Wilden. That's to account for tax. They didn't put the tax on the original quote. And it's an amount not to exceed. So we wanted to give a little bit of room there in case.
Okay. Any other questions from council? No? All right. Thank you, Mr. Rose. Appreciate it. Yeah.
I thought I did read that the tax was in. It says.
Look at the quote. I don't have the quote on me, sorry.
There's a discount as well.
Yes. Sorry, I'll have to get back to you with that information as far as the quote.
I hate to
Sorry.
postpone it. I really don't want to do that.
If it's an amount not to exceed $230,000, then if the quote's for 203, then we're just going to spend the 203.
Right, we'll just spend the amount we have to spend. That's a given.
clarification. Thank you.
Yep,
Okay,
thank you.
all right. I'll go ahead and motion to approve item 1 on the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, Mayor made the motion, Councilmember Wilden seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that's approved. And now we're going to go into new business. Just 3 items this evening under new business, and the following items are for council discussion, consideration, and possible legal action. First up is item 1, ordinance number 726, rezoning a portion of Yavapai County Assessor's Parcel number 406-06303E, 597 East State Route 89A, from the present zoning of I-2 heavy industrial to C2 heavy commercial, and this is the first reading. So kick me when I try to make a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. Tina Hayden for Community Development. And I am presenting, or this presentation is for the zone change application and the minor general plan amendment application for the same parcel. I'd also like to add that Community Development is the applicant. We did have the approval of the property owner to pursue this application process. A few details about the current status of this parcel. It is 2.8 acres in size. It is dual zoned as I-2 heavy industrial and C2 heavy commercial. It has 2 land use designations, GC general commercial and PCI, which is performance commercial/industrial. At this point, there is no project that's been proposed. What Community Development is looking to get upon approvals is to change the land use designation to solely GC general commercial and to change the entire parcel to have it zoned as C2. This would clarify which permitted uses are for any future development of the parcel. The reason the parcel is dual zoned, and here it is highlighted in red, you can see the site that we are actually trying to zone change from I-2 to C2. The reason it's dual zoned is due to a planning practice called strip zoning, in which planners would take strips of land and designate it as one zone or the other. In this case, it was done to establish a commercial corridor, and that is why we are trying to change it to C2 to stay with that commercial corridor. This is the land use designation map. As you can see, the site that we're trying to change is from that PCI to the GC general commercial. And there is the complete site and the portion of the site that we're looking to have changed. In order for a minor general plan amendment to be approved, we need to have findings that are in conformance with the general plan. In this case, we have 2 objectives from the land use portion of the plan that we feel are relevant to this case. And the first one, objective 3-4A, we're trying to designate commercial, industrial, and mixed-use areas for business and employment opportunities. A second, objective 3-4D, we're trying to develop or pursue development with a range of attraction services and supporting facilities. We feel that the establishment of that commercial corridor, we want to stay true to that, and that these objectives support that. This slide is a view of 89A, where the property is situated just to the right. This is the southeast view. And this is the northwest view with the property to the left. And that actually concludes my presentation. I am ready for any questions.
All right, any questions from council for Ms. Hayden? No? It seems straightforward and seems to make a lot of sense to clean up the zoning on that parcel and look forward to whatever the developer proposes in that area. Anyone from the public care to comment on this item? I think we're all staff out there this evening. All right, this is just the first reading, so we'll bring it back for vote next year.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
For the next item, this pertains.
Okay, let's have our deputy clerk read ordinance number 726 by title only.
Ordinance number 726, an ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of Cottonwood, Yavapai County, Arizona, rezoning a portion of Yavapai County, APN 406-06303E from the present zoning of I2 heavy industrial to C2 heavy commercial.
Okay, thank you. All right, and then next is a resolution number 3154, approving a minor amendment to the city's general plan for a portion of a parcel of land located at 597 East State Route 89A.
So the presentation I had pertains to this as well. I'm ready for any questions on the general plan amendment.
Any changes that came up from, might have cropped up from? No, okay. All right, then I'll go ahead and motion to approve resolution number 3154.
Second.
All right, Mayor made the motion, Councilmember Karat seconded it. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember DeWillis?
Yes.
Councilmember Henry?
Yes.
Councilmember Karat?
Yes.
Councilmember Weldon?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Naren?
Yes.
And Mayor Alinsky.
Yes,
Thank
thanks.
you.
And let's have you read resolution number 3154 by title only, please.
Resolution number 3154, a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Cottonwood, Yavapai County, Arizona, approving a minor amendment to the city's general plan, changing the land use designation for approximately 2.8 acres of land located south of East State Route 89A, approximately 480 feet west of 6th Street, 597 East State Route 89A portion, APN 406-06-303E from PCI Performance Commercial Industrial to GC General Commercial.
Okay, thank you. And next and last under new business is agreements with Sparklight Business and Cloud IT for internet service and network improvements.
All right, thank you, Mayor and members of council. My name is Kevin Rose. I'm the network administrator for the IT department for the city, and I will be the acting IT director once John Carter gets his other foot out the door. So tonight I am proposing an upgrade to our internet connection and our infrastructure. This is something that we've been working on for about a year with our internet service provider, Sparklight. And there are a lot of reasons for that. The first main reason is our current system relies on wireless microwave connections between buildings so that we can get our network out as well as our internet to all the buildings in the city. That presents a single point of failure, unfortunately. Those microwave dishes are susceptible to weather conditions and the monsoon. Just this year at the Development Services Building, we've had to replace that microwave connection twice due to monsoon storms that came through. When something like that happens, that entire building is down. They have no internet, no phones. They couldn't process their water billing payments. And in the meantime, we have to program a new device, get the bucket truck, get up there and replace it. That takes a little bit of time. So that was one of the big drivers for this project. So we started talking with Sparklight about what we can do to help make our connection between the buildings more resilient. And what we decided on with that is fiber connections. So this would be, part of this is going to be to use our microwaves as a redundant secondary connection in case something happens, but be reliant on in-the-ground microwave connections between the buildings that are managed by Sparklight. They're always on, and they are not susceptible to the weather problems that we've been seeing. Secondly, this also includes an upgrade to our current bandwidth, our speeds. It just really doesn't meet our needs right now. We've been getting a lot of feedback and problems that have come up because of the way our system is set up right now. So during the pandemic, we had more people who were working from home, and that does eat up a bit of bandwidth. We are implementing more and more security camera systems in our buildings. And whenever there is an incident, our ability to get into those systems and review the video also largely depends on our bandwidth. We have more and more online meetings that are happening as people are preferring to do that rather than in person. We've had issues with our council live stream off and on in the past, and that is also due to our internet bandwidth. We have nightly cloud backups where a lot of our critical data is sent to a cloud storage over the internet. And then we have other software that uses up some of this bandwidth as well and has been having issues like Transit's route match software. Sometimes they see lag when they're using that program. We're also taking on more responsibility with our dispatch center, with Clarkdale and Jerome, and our ability to provide good service to them as well will partially depend on our internet connection. So the other reason for this is because of future technology and future projects that we already have planned or are in process for the city. So the first one on here is called Mutual Link, and this is something we're working on now, and it allows us to have a greater security posture with our public schools. This will allow public schools to essentially have a panic button that contacts our police department. That our police department can then view their video if they allow us to, or have access to their radio system, things like that. That all is really dependent on our internet connection and our bandwidth. So we really want to be able to provide a good service to our public schools with that. I talked a little bit about some of our cloud-based programs that we have now. That is only going to increase. That is the way that IT is moving, is more towards cloud storage and cloud backups, and also cloud-based programs. We have some other programs that we're currently hosting on site on physical servers that will likely be moving to a cloud-based program in the future. And the ability for that program to run smoothly for our employees depends on our bandwidth. We're also looking at other projects like desktop and phone alerts for the city, so that if there's an outage, the IT department can notify everyone of what's going on, but also for emergency alerting to our computers and other devices. One of the other main reasons is we are in the process of working on a new city hall. That city hall building is very large. It's going to contain a lot of people, and it's going to use up a lot of bandwidth. We need to make sure that we have a good connection to that building so that when we have presentations like this with city council or public meetings, and all of the employees that are going to be there are going to be using up bandwidth as well. So our current system, we have two internet connections. We have a 200 meg connection that comes into Old Town and another 200 meg connection that comes into public safety. So for all of the Old Town area, which is your finance, HR, city clerk, they are all using one 200 meg connection, and then you have another 200 meg connection that feeds the rest of the city. So the rest of the city, your fire department, all the public safety, PD, library, recreation center, public works, development services, well over 100 employees that are all sharing one 200 meg connection right now. And that is largely why we're seeing this problem with the slowdown. People are saying that they're having issues on their online meetings. Sometimes it's lagging and cutting out. And so we came to Sparklight to talk about this and to see what we could do to resolve these issues. So you can see in our current, on our current system, we have those two 200 meg connections. And then we also have a current fiber connection going between Old Town and public safety that is always on and a bit higher speed. So currently right now we're paying about $27.42 a month for those internet connections at a cost of about $1.96 per megabyte. And then I have it broken out by year and 3-year cost. So Sparklight, they said, okay, we can connect all of your city buildings together through fiber. That's going to take a lot of construction on our part, but they are willing to absorb that construction cost of about $130,000 if we agreed to a specific speed and a 3-year term. So what they proposed to us is our incoming connection will just go to public safety, and it will be a 2 gig connection, or 2,000 megabytes. Then from there, it will feed out to all of our city buildings at a speed of 1,000 megabytes. These will be an always-on, reliable connection between all of the city buildings. And again, like I said, we'll have those microwaves still in place as a backup in case something happens. But Sparklight's reliability is excellent. The current connection that we have between Old Town and public safety has never failed us. We've never had any problems with it. And that was a part of why we were wanting to move forward with this, because they've proven to us that that connection will be solid and stable. So you can see the difference in the monthly cost. That brings it up to about $8,200 a month. And it also brings our per megabyte cost down to about 51 cents. It's like buying at Costco. The more you get in bulk, the cheaper it is per megabyte. At some point, we're going to have to move forward with our internet connections. We're going to need something better than what we have. So we're trying to get ahead of this, trying to future-proof our technology a little bit so we can implement what we have. We can implement future technology and also support what we have now. This one is a breakdown of cost by department. This is based on what we're currently paying now. It just shows the difference in what the departments will be spending with our current internet connection versus what we're proposing in the future. So I talked a little bit about some of the benefits and advantages to this. One of the main things is that redundancy and fault tolerance. We'll not be relying on a single point of failure, and it will be a managed connection that we know is going to be on and has guaranteed uptime. This is going to improve public safety and employee safety. I talked about the security systems, the security cameras we have in our buildings, and our ability to provide better public safety by being able to connect to our public schools. This will allow us to implement technology that's a little more with the times and a little more current, so that we're not having to wonder, is this going to work for us because of our current internet connection? We talked about the live stream. This will definitely help our council live streams to run better and hopefully without a hitch. This will improve performance for our online meetings as well. Talked about how it's a lower cost per megabyte. This is future-proofing our infrastructure. When we've talked to the department heads and employees about this, we've gotten a lot of good feedback. A lot of people are excited about moving towards this, especially people that have had outages in the last couple of years. Like I said, we had 2 just in development services, and we had another one go down this year to our electrician's shed out in Public Works. And the advantage to going to this speed and for the 3-year term is it absorbs that $130,000 construction cost. So that will save the city some money. So that's what I have. I'm here to answer any questions that you might have about this project. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any questions from council for Mr. Rose? Yes.
What's the time frame, number one, and then I got a second question.
So timeframe, once this is approved, it's going to take a while for the construction. We're estimating that's probably going to take about a year to completely be done, but we will be rolling it out one building at a time. So as construction is completed to one building, then we will change around the network so that it is able to use the new speed. The connection coming into, the main internet connection coming into the public safety building would be first, and then we'll start moving that out to all the satellite buildings.
Excuse me, Councilmember Wilden, let me just interrupt here for a second. It will take a little bit slightly longer than just the 1 year because the final connection will be to the new city hall, which is probably 18 to 24 months out, and the rest of it will probably complete in a 1 year time. Also, the cost is not going to be impacted immediately. It'll be spread out over the time until such time that they're all connected.
All right.
Second question. I have Sparklight, and it does go down once in a while. So when good night. I need new fingers. How long before the backup kicks in? Is it immediate?
So we'll have the Sparklight connection going over fiber, and then we'll have our microwave connections as a backup. And those will both be running all the time. The worst that you would likely see is if somebody is on a call or in a meeting, it may kick them out and then they had to come back in. It'll close the session, but it won't kick them out completely.
I just had a question on the sole source procurement, because the packet does say that that you discovered that Sparklight was the only vendor. Is this because of the fiber aspect, or can you just maybe give a little bit more information about the sole source justification, please?
Yeah, when we brought this to the different internet providers in the area, Sparklight was the only one that was willing to do the construction in the first place. Nobody else was even willing to run the fiber optic lines to our buildings, whether we paid for it or not.
I think another reason for that is Sparklight is the only coverage we have in this particular area. We don't have any other cable company or anyone else who can possibly do and continue to provide that service.
So regarding the, where IT is currently housed down in Old Town, what's the plan to relocate or cut the services down there? I think we've talked in the past about selling those properties off once City Hall's open, so how is that tied into all the rest of the infrastructure?
So until the new City Hall is built, we'll keep that fiber connection to Old Town. But we will be able to terminate that 200 meg connection that's going into there, and it'll just be fed internet by our main connection in the public safety building.
Okay.
And then when City Hall is built, then we'll be able to remove that cost.
Okay. Any other questions from council? All right. Well, you know, this is not my wheelhouse at all, but it seems like I appreciate that you're planning for the future, planning for additional capacity. I think that's wise. I know from just experience that we've had issues. I don't know as well as you do the issues
Yep.
we've had, but I trust that you've looked into all that, and if this is a solution, although it's a significant amount more than we're currently paying, I know it'll be phased in as it's built, and it's good planning for the future. So it seems like the course that we should take.
I agree. I don't know if there's any other discussion, but, you know, as a small business owner that is on a very iffy at times wireless connection, I do think we need to be planning for the future. I did have a little bit of a shock when I saw the difference in price tag, but again, it's much needed, and I think you did a nice job in the presentation, Mr. Rose, of outlining the advantages, especially where we have our communication center that does need that reliable service and backup. So I don't know if there's any other discussion, otherwise I'd go ahead and make a motion.
Certainly.
All right, I'd move to approve the proposed business services agreement with Sparklight Business and the proposed scope of services with Cloud IT for upgrades to the IT network and infrastructure.
Second?
Okay, Councilmember Henry made the motion and Councilmember Karat seconded it. If we could have a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember DeWillis?
Yes.
Councilmember Henry? Yes. Councilmember Karat?
Yes.
Councilmember Weldon?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Naren?
Yes.
And Mayor Alinsky.
Yes.
The motion carries.
All right, very good. Thank you. And I move to pay the claims and adjustments.
Second.
Okay, Mayor made the motion, Vice Mayor seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, and I move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, Mayor made the motion, Councilmember Henry seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're adjourned. Have a great holiday. And council, don't go anywhere. We got to get a photo, okay, for the record.
You mean that picture with Dr. County?
Much better.